morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Crystal Clear Show. I'm your host, Crystal, and it's my passion to help professionals 30 and over get unstuck from their corporate 9 to 5 jobs to launch and grow a successful six-figure business with my crystal clear blueprint. And today's guest on our episode 17, Vanessa ZeeGee. Vanessa is a mom, a wife, and a certified business strategist, Muse CRM co-owner of Marketing Muse Collective SaaS agency. Let's welcome Vanessa. Hi Vanessa, how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm very, very excited and nervous and scared at the same time.
Don't be scared. Why are you scared? You're just so natural in the videos with baby Sean. So you're a pro in this, Vanessa.
No, I still get butterflies. So this is me fronting, like, yeah, but inside I'm screaming.
Well, don't worry, you're not alone. I'm also deep inside saying, "Oh, I'm so scared." But well, let's do it afraid.
Yeah. There is
So
fear in courage, right? So I'm doing
yeah,
this with courage.
definitely, definitely. So let us know about you, Vanessa. Tell us a little bit more about you, other than you have a beautiful, beautiful son, Sean, baby Sean, whom we see often in your videos. I know you have three other beautiful children.
Yes, I do. So I was divorced and then got remarried. And then I have two daughters with the first marriage and then two sons in the second one. So there's a huge gap of like age. My two daughters are now 21 and 17. And then the two boys are now 6 years old and a who is now Sean is 19 months. So a year and a half.
Wow, it's so cute how we see him evolve in your videos, in your lives, because we see you doing your lives with him. He's so adorable. But
I'm struggling.
we don't see it. And who would have thought that you have a 20-year-old daughter? Huh? I
Yeah.
thought you were just 30. So
Uh,
you had your baby at 10, did you?
I just expose my age, but then stupidity comes being young. So, and I'm not afraid to go out and say that, but I'm like, yeah, yeah. It was a long journey, but we learn as we grow.
Young love, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let us know about yourself. I always ask who, which superhero do you like? But of course, this superhero is actually how you represent yourself, because most of the time we see ourselves as somebody, yeah, well, somebody low, or we always hide behind our strengths, but and we don't celebrate them.
Mhm.
So now I want to celebrate your strengths, and I would like to ask you, who are you as a superhero and why? What is your strength?
Oh God. I guess I could put I was just thinking about this, like looking at the questions, and then like the first thing that comes up to mind is Wonder Woman. Because I always wonder why, wonder how, wonder what, and then there
Okay.
everything. I'm always wondering, like, how did I do this? How did I manage to
Mm,
do that? How did I actually, like, juggle all these things? So, and then another thing is that, if you look into Wonder Woman's background, she was
mm,
raised with women, strong
yeah.
women. But as you can see, I came from a background of my parents have like a big family, so they had 8 kids. The seventh one was a boy, and then he died when he was an infant. So the eighth one
Um,
became a girl. So there's seven of us. Yeah,
wow.
but my mom, of course, she wasn't really like raising us as much. But my
Mhm,
dad was the strong model for us, even though
mhm,
that he was very strict, of course, in the Filipino world. My dad is very strict.
Mm.
Strict ang daddy ko, if you say
Yes.
it in Tagalog. But
Yes.
basically, it says like, my dad is strict. And that's
Mhm.
our reason all the time. But he molded us as like Amazonian. He calls us my Amazonian daughters.
Oh, wow.
As he would go ahead and teach us like not relying, but to rely on them on ourselves, how to become resourceful, how to gain resources, how to not rely on anybody, especially for guys,
Mhm.
because he sees his daughters that can be like, what do you call this, succumb or vulnerable, right?
Yes.
And as Filipinos, we are more submissive as like, as partners, and we
Mhm.
end up like trying to please somebody else.
That's true. And remind me, are you the number seventh or
I'm
the
the
number eight?
I'm
You're
the
the
middle
same.
child.
Wow. Okay. So
Smack in the
it's
middle.
the middle child. So it's really good that your dad raised you not to rely on anybody, to be resourceful, because that's what we men really need to do.
Yeah.
We need to be self-sufficient, and we need to know how to stand up by ourselves. And I really admire that on you, because I can see you on and off camera, and you are definitely an Amazonian lady.
Well, I guess the Wonder Woman hero really fits me, aside from like
Right.
wondering all the time.
Oh yes, that it definitely fits you, and I'm sure your husband agrees to that as well. So let us go to your favorite quote. I know it's a very interesting one, and let me read it to everyone who's joining us now or in replay. So your favorite quote is, tomorrow is a mystery, yesterday was history, but today is a gift. That's why it's called a present.
Oh,
Isn't that beautiful?
that it really gives me like that chills, and then makes me like tear up right now. Oh my gosh. Not only that, Master Sifu actually said that in Kung Fu Panda, because at that scene, he was wondering and asking himself, like he's really self-doubting himself, and then he's like questioning, oh my god, I'm like tearing up.
Oh,
Because like, Poe was like asking himself like, who am I, right? And
right.
he's trying to find himself as like, oh, okay, well, I have my heroes, which is like the Magnificent Five or something like that, and
Yes, yes.
he couldn't see himself as one.
Ah, yeah.
Remember that one? And then
Right. I remember.
he's like he's like, why am I put into this place? Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just a son of a noodle restaurant owner.
Right.
Like, what's
An
this?
adopted one.
Huh?
An adopted one.
Yeah, as an adopted one, and he looks very different from his dad, who is a goose. Like,
Right.
it kind of like brings me up, because like, Poe, like during my upbringing, I look different from any of my sisters, and then they call me as the
Mm.
ugly duckling at the same time. But
Yeah.
anyway, oh my god, it's just like making me like tear up. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Well, this is how we roll. It's and I'm sure you were the ugly duckling before, but now you're Wonder Woman. So I'm sure your sisters are looking up to you. How do you do that?
I'm still wondering.
But but it's true. Even I myself, I wonder, um because most often when, well, we have this childhood, um how do you call that? this bad memories from our childhood, this childhood wounds.
Yeah.
We have been bullied, we have been called names. I know I have been there, and people even called me bebang. I don't know, it came from, apparently it came from a show, from Michael V's show Bubble Gang.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yes. So the boys
that.
in elementary, in grade 6, called me bebang.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, all those boys who were calling me names had a crush on me. But of
Yes.
course, during that time, it was traumatic for me because I was asking myself, why are they teasing me? Why don't they like me? Why are they this and that? So I had also traumatic experiences, and at home, my parents were abroad also, so we were brought up by my grandmother, and we lived with my uncles and aunts. And when I would try to sing, they would say, shush, shush, don't sing because it will rain, or don't dance because you dance like a bamboo tree, like you're too your body's too hard. So, but then now, when they see us where we are now, I think we thrive because we wanted to show them, no, I'm not this person. I'm not the one that you bullied. I am this person now. And it's really something that pushed me also to thrive, to show you I'm not this. Makikita nyo. Like, you will see. I'm going to prove myself to you. I can dance, I can sing, but well, of course, they're not really for me. My talent is different. My talent is speaking, and I love being here on camera and speaking to different people all over the world. Vanessa is in California, and I'm here in Belgium, and we are having a chat about our past and now our present. So, isn't it beautiful that when we remember yesterday as a history, and recall today as a present, and tomorrow as a mystery, it's just, you're just getting more excited. What will tomorrow bring when you wake up?
Yeah, I mean, like this quote alone kind of like, reminds me that there's a reason why yesterday is just like a history, and a lot of
Mhm.
people are like living in the past. And
Yes.
when you hold on to the past, whatever that past happened to you, be it good or be it bad, um, sometimes most of the time we hold on to the bad things rather than the good things. And then we forget to live in the present. That should be a gift to you because you are waking up, you are breathing, because not everybody gets to wake up every day, and that's a gift already.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It
So,
is true.
and since you mentioned about like Bebang was your nickname, and that really hurt you, like during like childhood. During my childhood, I was called Bansot
Oh,
because
because you're the small one?
yes, I am the runt of the family.
Oh,
I didn't know what it meant at first, but then of course it hurt my feelings because they called me like Bansot, and I was
yeah,
just
right. Yeah,
like.
yes. But now, well, height doesn't matter. You're small and terrible, but terrible. Yeah,
And I come in fun size.
yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely. Very, very fun. So
Yeah.
much fun. I see Shanna is commenting. Hello, Shanna.
Hey, Shana. Now I'm like telling some background stories. Just like supporting my peeps.
Yes. Wow. Well, I know I'm sure there are so many more stories about past, but well, it's history, and that's what made us us now. That's what made us push towards the greatness where we are now.
Mhm.
And I'm so excited what we have in our future,
Yeah,
because it's it's definitely something big and something awesome
yeah,
that's going to happen.
yeah, yeah.
I would like to ask you, what is your biggest why, other than proving yourself that you're not this tiny, tiny, tiny sister? What is your biggest why, Vanessa? Why did you start your own company with Vanessa?
Well,
Why are you going on lives even if baby Sean is sick? You are still here pushing. Tell us.
my biggest why at the moment, everything is gonna be like it always changes every single time.
Mm,
There's always like a different version of myself every time, and then every time that I would ask myself like, what is my biggest why? It used to be like it's for my kids, but technically it's actually for myself. And then it became to like, oh, I like to fulfill someone else's, like, whatever that they're needing fulfillment in that gap, you know. Um, but eventually, it's all about like how I actually leave a footprint in this world, right? Because every time that you meet somebody like you, Crystal, I'm learning more about you, and then you're telling me like this and this and this, and then sometimes whenever we talk, we get that, we build that friendship, but then eventually, like over the years or over the months or days and weeks, it's like you make an impact, and it has
mm,
nothing, it doesn't have to be like in business, but then in
mm,
friendship. And
mm,
then, oh, it's gonna make me cry again. Because eventually it's like that's why it goes back to like you have to celebrate every day as a present. Because when you are gone, how are, oh my god, how are people are like, they think of you eventually. And that's
correct.
why I love that quote. Oh my god, it makes me like cry. Getting all emotional. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Well, this is how it gets real. This is how we are. And it's so much fun talking to you, how genuine you are. I just love having you and being with you and Shena.
Yeah. So the reason is like, aside from that is that being a full-time stay-at-home mom, and then during COVID, it it kind of like stopped me from feeling fulfilled for myself also, because like what I said, I was divorced, and then I was
Mhm,
going through like a nasty divorce proceeding, and then from two income to one income to like having 10 side hustles, right? And trying to go
mhm,
ahead and like put food on the table for my girls, and then whatever that may be, just to go ahead and like, keep that intact. And during like the separation, the divorce, you need to have that financial stability, right? And then, but at the same time, while I'm trying to gain that financial, like trying to put, like, create money so in that way I can provide, what I'm losing is the time with them.
right. It's true. So, how did you start this journey of entrepreneurial?
Oh,
Um,
girl. I tried, as Filipino, we are like always looking for like ways for additional income, right? We wear so many hats. So in 2020, that's when, like, my husband finished his graduation as a medical doctor. He was like,
mhm,
and then during the transition from Washington State into California, because that's where he got his job.
mhm,
2020, that's where COVID hit. And then I was kind of like forced or pressured, more of pressured to
mhm.
retire from the job that I've had for 3 years and been with the company for almost like 16 years.
Wow. And
So
you were in medical field before, right?
I was a surgical tech, and then I got a freak accident in the OR that turned into, like, it transitioned me into administrative stuff. And then we
Oh.
moved over in Washington for my husband's residency. I was
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough that I transferred in the sales and marketing department in same company but different region. And then after 3 years, we had to move back out because this is where my family lives. And then my husband was like, "Well, it's gonna be the same company," but then they were like, "You gotta go. We can't hire you or keep you as an employee due to HR policy where you're living in California but working in Washington. We cannot have that because I guess tax reason."
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
then so I was forced to resign. I actually tapered it off for like a month or two, and then I was sad because um there was no what do you call that, like a resignation thing, like a bonus,
Um,
those bonus
yes,
packages just to leave the
yes.
company.
Uh-huh.
Everything was shutting down. So we used to do like in-person events, doing
Mhm.
like open enrollment because I was in the sales and marketing, teaching on like health insurance and everything. So yeah, there's no, what do you call that? Severance package? Did
Ah,
not,
yes, yes. Oh,
they didn't offer
okay.
me no severance package because it treated as if like we cannot do this. So now to think about it, they did me wrong, I guess.
Right. They did you wrong. It's
Yeah.
true.
But
And
yeah.
but it's what pushed you to where you are now.
Well, with that, I was like, well, after a month, I mean, like right after I turned in my retirement, letter,
Mhm,
I was like resigning just because I was pressured onto it.
mhm,
I was like, okay, I need to go ahead and build something. And then at that time, my friend who is a registered nurse and
mhm,
she's building her life insurance business as a broker,
mhm.
fell into it, and then I said, I'm gonna go ahead and apply for an LLC. Of course, $800 to register
Yeah.
in California, and it's not, and I don't even have anything to go ahead and prove, right? So I'm starting from
Mhm.
scratch. And I
Right.
tried to go ahead and do that and online market my life insurance, whatever that may
Mhm.
be, and that failed miserably.
Mhm.
But what I have found out is that getting into coaching, getting into whatever, like, in the coaching space, I found myself to be like, learning about building funnels, met Shanna from my Facebook group. We started with a coffee chat. I found out that she's a Facebook ads manager. I was like trying to see if I can go ahead and like ask her questions about, like, as a life insurance producer, how can
Mhm.
I make myself, like, can I use like ads for that one? But
Mhm.
it built out to like, okay, let's go ahead and create like a Facebook group for like specifically for mompreneurs. And
Right.
then that shifted over time.
Oh,
Yeah. And
wow.
then just last year we just celebrated our first year together as like co-owners as a digital marketing agency. This is where I just like asked her, how about we can go ahead and create like, an agency together, but she have her own already.
Yeah.
And I feel like a leech to her. Inserting myself.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it happened so fast because
Mhm.
it's just like a matter of like asking a question, and then she was like, okay, let's go ahead and run for it. So we ran the pack together, just the two of us.
Yes. And you're a great team. You're not a leech. Why are you saying that?
I just like try to like use some kind of an exam. That's how I feel, but then she
You're
was
in news.
that way.
You're in news. Wow, yeah. So that's a beautiful story. Definitely the COVID has really good effects on us, bad because you were forced to retire even if you're
Yeah.
not in retirement age. But I
No.
think that's an excuse for them to use so
Mm,
that they will not pay anything, any severance pay for
right?
you. But I think you shouldn't have signed that retirement letter.
There
They should
was
have
a
fired you.
they
Oh,
they didn't, like, they I just told them like, oh, I'm just we are moving to California due to my
mm,
husband's thing. Will I be able to go and stay in here? And then that's
oh,
where they said like, oh, HR policy said.
oh,
And then
okay.
he said, well, there is the sales and marketing department similar to what we have and you are in. And they sent me to the manager and I did the remote interview. Imagine. And then they
Oh,
said, I'm so sorry, Vanessa. I could have like hired you, but we are closed for the hiring freeze.
yeah,
So I'm like, oh, I got pinned down. I got quartered in. So I mean, like thinking about it, it is a blessing in disguise just because I have learned the sales and marketing aspect and I don't mind like, getting out there.
right. Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
it like kicked you out of your nest also and
Yeah.
taught you how to fly.
Yeah, I had to learn how to fly.
It's like the mother ego taught you how to fly. Okay, I kick you out.
Flap it hard.
And you're now flying.
Contact.
Wow. Okay, so would you say that you're already successful in life, in work, in your business?
I would say in progress. It's always in progress.
Yes, it's true.
If you're gonna ask a perfectionist, they're gonna say like it's never been perfect. You strive for more.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Because
But
there's always like the next level, like the next level up in the game. Like how many levels are
infinite levels, I think.
there?
It just reminded me of this old lady, this lady from the gym where I go, and she was telling a story to her friend, and I was just eavesdropping, and so she started talking to me as well. So I was like, oh, okay, that's so fun because she was talking about um the capitals of the countries, and I thought she was telling about the capitals of the countries where she has visited, but it's actually she's 91 years old and she's learning the capital of the countries in all over the world. So she was bragging at the same time. Who wouldn't be proud because she's 91 years old and she knows all the capital of the world. And I was like, I thought you were 70. And she said, oh, why, thank you. And
Wow.
and I asked her, what's your secret? And she said, don't stop learning.
Yeah.
Don't stop learning.
Yeah.
There's always ways and things to learn.
Uh-huh.
And it's true. And we always have to learn and relearn. It's just that.
Mhm.
And that's, yeah. It's true. I also, Shanna said, I definitely need more geography education. Yes, me too, because she was asking me what's the capital of this. I was like, I don't know that. I know which part of continent, which continent that is, but I don't know the capital.
Oh, wow.
So it's true. And she says, I just went to the library because we have the public library here. And she said, I went to the library and I just go there and read and learn new stuff because there's still so much to learn. And I
Yeah.
was like, at 91,
Wow.
it's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about like, striving for like learning because there's like a lot of like diseases out there that kind of um if you don't learn as much or still use like, the brain power or whatsoever, it deteriorates.
Yes,
That's where it's like Alzheimer's or I don't know, but
definitely. And her 91, she says, I was there on the Second World War and I remember everything like it was yesterday. And it's because I keep on reading, I keep on learning.
yeah.
And That's why I said, okay, I need to read more then.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And yes. Shanna says, yes, there's so much more to learn about us and about the world,
yeah.
isn't it? That's really true. So we are coming to the end of our show, Vanessa. It's so much fun having you with me. What are your best practices? And could you give us some that we could implement immediately and daily to be successful?
Talking about like learning, right? There's
Right.
this like somebody was like been interviewed about like you cannot master something that you don't repetitively do. Give
Hmm.
ourselves 18 minutes per day. That will give us in 365 days. We have put in 100 hours in.
Right.
And one thing that I have learned from somebody, I forgot who is the author for this one, but it's the 10,000 rule.
Ah, yes, yes.
Forgot who is.
Shanna thought about that also.
Yeah,
10,000 times.
yes, yes. So if you think about you reference like Thomas Edison when it comes to trying to make that bulb
Right,
work, he said that somebody asked him like you failed 10,000 times, but then instead he said I have found 10,000 uh, he learned that it took 10,000 times to find the right thing to work it,
right,
right?
right.
And it was like a mindset shift because somebody is like inserting something negatively, like if you keep put like why keep doing it more than 10,000, like over 10,000 times. You could have like simply just what do you call this, forget it, right?
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Right,
then he would go ahead and come to a defeat, like failure is not, it's not an option for him, but instead he used that failure to experience on learn from it, try something new and see if it actually works. So if
mm-hmm.
you give yourself, block yourself like 1 hour per day to go ahead and repetitively do the same thing and you become a master of it. That's what I did when I was learning as a surgical tech. I was working 8 hours, learning from the doctors what to what instruments to give at what point where they need those instruments for and what the instruments are made for. So those are the tools, right?
Right.
8 hours of that repetitively. If I go into a C-section and then we go into a crash, like those emergency C-section, I can go
Right.
ahead and hand them 5 instruments alone with my eyes closed,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah.
can hear which part of it, at which layer, at which level they are at in retrieving the baby. And we
Right.
only have like a few seconds just to get the baby out, especially if the baby is like decelerating with their heart rate.
Yeah. Oh,
So every single time I'm on shift, they know they can rely on me because I know what to give them without them verbalizing what I need next. Because sometimes you go into a freeze, it's like blood everywhere, right? I'm not trying to go and like make this as like too much graphic.
imagine, I can imagine blood everywhere. Oh no.
It does happen in like labor and delivery. But if you
Right.
know which tools to go ahead and give to specific things to relieve whatever that problem is, like, the solution for it, I know
Right.
like what to pass without them telling me what they need. And
Oh,
I did that over 12 years.
wow.
I
Yeah.
did not go through a specific like certification or went through education or whatsoever. I learned it on the job because I kept repeating myself, like doing the same job over and over and over.
Wow. You're
Yeah.
a very smart lady.
Oh,
Just
I asked the right questions.
it's true. It's true. It's you should always ask the right questions. Well, there's no dumb question,
No.
but you always need to ask and don't be afraid to ask, isn't it?
Yeah, even if it says like, so what would it take for you to go ahead and get into a sales, right?
Right. Right.
Jay Lee. I learned it from Jay Lee.
Yes. Oh wow. So what is what are the two others that you could what that we could implement, but at the same time I want to ask you, because we are here as to discuss the importance of marketing systems. Maybe
Mhm,
we can inject that into this conversation, because having marketing systems is really essential for your business, especially if you want to grow them.
mhm.
And you don't need to do them by yourselves.
No.
It's best to hire someone who are knowledgeable in that area, so that you can grow your business and thrive and soar like an eagle, and have Vanessa in your team and Shanna, these two lovely ladies.
Sure. One thing for sure, if a lot of people are using Facebook now as a marketplace, especially for like growing a business, be it a brick and mortar business, or a coach like yourself, or a course creator, or even a consultant, because every time that we go on, like, on Facebook, be it like in live or creating content posts, building and nurturing a community like yours, it
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of like understanding on how to bring our algorithm into inbox, because one, social media platforms like this is something that we don't own, but it is borrowed. So, which means you can go ahead and create a profile, personal profile, and then turn it into something. But then you have to think about, like, okay, I'm renting, like, for example, a brick and mortar, right? Well, you are
Right.
only renting the space for people to walk through. You've had, like, you've experienced that before. And then
Yeah.
whenever something happened, the lease owner will go ahead and say, you know what, Vanessa, I'm going to kick you out. You need to get and leave. So you have to pack up and go. So
Yeah.
what happens to your traffic? Gone. And then
Yeah.
when you don't have the traffic, which is like your email list subscribers, that means you don't have any business. You don't have any assets. You have to go and start from scratch.
Mm.
The algorithm to inbox is really important in order for you to go ahead and build your tribe of buyers or audience that you can speak to, and the ones that are actually listening and following you at the same time. And that's
Yes.
where our Muse CRM comes into place, because it actually gathers all the leads. You can go ahead and start nurturing them. You can go ahead and start talking to them. And then later on, you can go ahead and, like, if you have something to offer, then you'll be able to go ahead and say, like, is this something that you're looking for? You have to find asking the right question. If it is needed in the marketplace, you can then create your offer and then see if like, hey, you've said that you want to learn how to build your email list using this algorithm to inbox method.
Mhm.
And then now those people actually said yes or said what's their problem is. You can
Mhm.
go ahead and ask them, would you like me to go ahead and send you all the information that I know in a form of a lead magnet? Now those lead magnet becomes your asset, because now they are your on your email list.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, it's a process, it's a
Yes.
strategy, but it's more of like, if you are serving to people, then it's a matter of like learning of what is needed in the marketplace.
Definitely. Yes. And it's not selling because you want to sell them, because it's selling because you know that you can help them and give value to their products, and so that you can help more. When it's automated,
Mm-hmm.
you can help hundred and dozens more than one person,
Yeah.
and it definitely makes a lot of difference, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It sure does, because after a while of talking a lot of like business owners, one thing that they are having trouble with is consistently, like, posting, or they're posting so much that they're not seeing, like, they're not getting the assets. What they're
Wow.
getting is just followers, but then those followers will ultimately be gone once your profile gets deleted or whatsoever. So you don't have anybody to go in and fall back into and say,
Right.
hey, my profile got hacked, my profile
Mhm.
got deleted. Then those people who are already following you, aka your list, then you can
Yeah.
go ahead and reach out to them. I'm still around.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Right?
That's so
And
true.
and in that way, you're basically like you still are like connected with them,
Yes.
even without a social media platform.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Having an email list, a funnel, and yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are at the end of our show. So fun. It's so much fun having you here. Is there something that you could give, one crystal clear advice, if someone is just tuning in now in our show? If
Mm.
there's one advice that you could give, one crystal clear advice, what would it be?
Always ask the right questions. Not a single question is a dumb question. Not unless if you're gonna ask me what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
That's still, yes. I'm still, yeah. Anyway,
Now, if you're gonna ask me, like, okay, well, yeah. So if never mind, but you tell me which comes first.
I, chicken? I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for being with us today, Vanessa. I wish everyone to have a great day. But first, let me share you. There are two exciting updates. I am launching a crystal clear 3-day challenge on June 14th to June 16th. And actually, I just realized on June 14th is my parents' 46th anniversary. So it's like a tribute to them. Isn't that exciting? And I'm also launching a crystal clear beta program. So click down below or comment down below beta if you are interested to join my program, and let's chat. So I'm so happy and grateful to have you with me today, Vanessa. With all the tears and laughter that we shared in this very short period of time, I'm just so amazed how sincere and very true you are. So thank you very much once again. Thank you, Shenna, for joining us live in the Facebook group. Have a good day, everyone. And remember, where you are today doesn't matter. Where you are going does. So always get crystal clear wherever you go. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.